Pokemon Black and White was originally released for the DS back on September 18th, 2010. And 2 years later, a sequel to the Pokemon game was released called Pokemon Black and White 2. This was released on June 23rd, 2012. Fast forwarding 12 years after the release of BW 1 and 2, is there any hope that the game will ever have a remake anytime soon? Well, judging from the remake release years, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was remade back in November 21st, 2014. And then, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was released in November 19th, 2021. So, just judging based on those years, that's about a 7-year gap from the creation of the remakes. And the remake before Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was Heart Gold and Soul Silver in 2009 for the DS. So, honestly speaking, just going based on the time frame that we know of the Pokemon games, is there any time frame at all? I mean, like I said, just from what we know, there is no time frame of when the remakes will be created. If you ask me, if I had to make a guess on when the next remakes will come, it will come when there's another handheld console version being made. At least that's what I think will happen. What I really want to happen though, of course, is for Pokemon to have another game released on the Switch before BW Remake on another console, just in case, just so we don't have to buy another console just to play the next Pokemon game. But of course, I honestly have no clue what add-ons that Pokemon will make if they do remake Black and White, and if the Switch will be strong enough to handle like the remakes of Black and White. However, in all honesty though, if they do remake Black and White anytime soon, I hope they bring back Mega Evolutions, just because I think Mega Evolution was just an amazing feature that they have added in Pokemon, and it will be awesome to see some new Mega starters or other Mega evolved Pokemon in the Unova region. For me, besides the starters getting Megas, I would want an Excadrill, Haxorus, Archeops to get Mega Evolutions. Just because for me, they were in my team when I first played Black and White 1 and 2 of the old days, and they were amazing Pokemon, and I hope they eventually get a new form when the remake does come out. And of course, the legendaries, Reshiram and Zekrom. I hope they get new forms as well, almost like primal forms like Groudon and Kyogre had. A new form for these legends would be cool, and I hope, this is just me, I hope they don't have new forms like how they had Dialga and Palkia had that form in Pokemon Legends. I hope it's more something like I said, Groudon and Kyogre. But anyway, if Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2 do get a remake, graphic-wise, I hope it looks more like Pokemon Legends Arceus or better. If possible, which might not happen, but I would like them to do Pokemon Black and White to be more open world like Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. I do like the open world aspect of Pokemon. To me, it was very fun, entertaining, and was a great step towards the right direction for like future Pokemon games. However, I think if they plan to take the route of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well, I wouldn't be too much against it. I might be against Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl route, but I also wouldn't hate it as well. I just wouldn't be with it because it will be more like I guess looks more 3DS in a way. But anyway, but for me, if it's going to be a next-gen handheld console though, something like Legends Arceus graphics and mechanics or better would be the best move for the BW remakes. I don't know, of course, when and if we do get these Pokemon in Black and White remakes, I would hope for them to try their best to keep Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2 as just one long cohesive game. Just because I feel like there would be no point in remaking BW 1 and then a couple years later you remake BW 2. If they were intending to remake BW anytime soon, I think they should do their best to try to just keep it all in one game in order to obviously make as much content as possible for us consumers. My only worry is if they do plan to make the Black and White remake on the Switch, will it be too heavy for the Switch to handle? And should they put on the next gen console? And the only reason I'm saying this is because I think when we had Scarlet and Violet, there was a little minor defects of like graphics errors, and like for me when I was playing this on the Switch, my Switch was like felt like the fans were running really fast, and I was concerning is like, was Scarlet and Violet too heavy just for the Switch itself? So if they were to make Black and White 2, 1 and 2 remake, my worry is like, would the game be too heavy for the Switch to handle, and should it be waited till a next gen handheld console? So to me, if the Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2 remakes are to be done, I want it to be done properly and I want them to take as much time as they need to, rather than rushing the game and we have bugs again like we did in Scarlet and Violet, and everybody's just be so mad about it and be like, how they're just like, this game is like unplayable, or there's just some minor graphics that's just like ruining the aspect of like the Pokemon games itself. But so in summary, I think Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2 remake will happen when the next handheld console comes. Will probably be the best scenario, and if they do plan to stay on the Switch, my guess would be 2025, maybe later. I mean, I hope my prediction's wrong and for the remakes, and it does happen soon. But like I said, if it happens later than what we expected, I am okay with that. Overall, what I would say is if they do plan to make the BW remakes anytime soon, I hope it's no glitches, and if not, I hope it's on the next gen handheld console, so we can have the best mobility and best gameplay as we can.